Man. Oh, my. Oh, man. No words. No words. Listen, I want to say this first. I mean, obviously, yeah, go follow us on Twitter, link in description, hit that sub button, leave a like. Um, Shout out Daniel Jones, man. Shout out Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones played a solid game. I don't want to see anybody come after Daniel Jones, man. He played one hell of a game. I'm very happy with how Daniel Jones played. But this defense, I don't understand. You don't get pressure on the QB. You're playing this soft shell zone that's not working. It's not working. It didn't work last week. It's not working this week. It didn't work in the first half of this game. Why don't you make adjustments going into the second half? How does the defense let up a touchdown in 2 plays from, I believe it was, Washington's 10? Correct me if I'm wrong. How? The pass rush was non-existent. I mean, look, James Bradbury, don't get me wrong, he redeemed himself. He did redeem himself with that interception in the fourth quarter. But James Bradbury, he was getting torched. He was getting burnt the whole game, man. And credit the Washington football team. You guys came out with the win. But this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. 8 out of the 9 years of the New York Giants, we've been 0-2. 8 out of 9, guys. And look, I'm not going to put any blame on Daniel Jones. I'm not going to put any blame on Jason Garrett. My only issue that we had offensively was after the James Bradbury pick, I would have liked to seen a nice, toss it to the end zone, or at least a shot, or a nice QB draw, something, man. Something. But outside of that, I got no issues with the offense. But this defense that the Giants have been hyping up, we got Adoree Jackson, who, I mean, he looked pretty solid tonight. I'm gonna give him that. He looked pretty solid tonight. I mean, he gave up a horrible touchdown to Ricky Seals Jr. in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter. But we couldn't get to the quarterback. And I'm going to say this much as well. That holding penalty on CJ Board was not a holding penalty. That's normal. When you look at receivers block downfield, what he did was normal. So to me, that was a horrible flag. Then you have them not calling flags on holdings on Kenny Golladay, which that was blatant as day. They don't throw a roughing the passer when Daniel Jones gets slammed onto the ground, but they'll throw one for which I didn't think it was a roughing the passer on our first drive, but on that Chase Young roughing the passer, but it was just, I'm not going to blame it on the refs as much as I want to. There was some fouls and flags that were called that I did not agree with, but outside of that, this defense was horrendous. Man. And we are not going to win many games if this defense keeps playing like this. It's unacceptable. Darnay Holmes is looking like a liability out there. I'm not going to lie to you. He's looking like a liability out there. And you know what? I'm glad, let me not say that. I'm not glad that Kenny Golladay was ripping the sideline apart, but I like the energy. I want a player that wants it on this team. And you know what? I got faith. I got faith in this offense. This offense, we expanded the playbook today. We really opened it up. Daniel Jones had a hell of a game today. But let me tell you something. Darius Slayton, you need to catch that. You need to catch that ball. He's had a dropping issue since his days at Auburn. And to me, that hurt, if not more, than the Evan Ingram drop last year in Philly. Because he was wide open. Like I said on Big Pat's stream, shout out Big Pat, go subscribe to him. He was wide open like 7-Eleven. There's no excuse as to why why Darius Slayton should have dropped that ball. That was a nice touch pass by Daniel Jones to Darius Slayton. That would have put the game away. And then you have Dexter Lawrence, man. How are you 9 inches from the center and you still go offside? And they missed a field goal. We would have won the game. They missed a field goal. It just seems like every year the Giants have to go through this gut-wrenching loss, this type of loss. You look last year, the Philly game. You look the year before that, Philly. You look before that, the Carolina game. It's frustrating, man. It is so frustrating, and this team makes me so mad sometimes. Like, I don't understand. But look, you know what? I'm going to say this much. Prayers up to Nick Gates. Hell of a player. That comeback is going to be great. But the offensive line played fairly solid. I'm going to give them that. The offensive line held their own against this front seven that the NFL and all these analysts have been saying that this is the best defense in the league. But the defense, man. This defense is going to cost us games. And when you look down the stretch, when you have teams like Dallas, you have the teams like the Rams, you have teams like, as much as I don't believe in Atlanta and I believe that we can win that game, Atlanta can air the ball out. Something has to start, man, because when you look at it, let's break this down, right? False start and the sack moving the Giants out of field goal range. That takes 3 points off the board. And then when you also look at the CJ board holding, that takes a touchdown off the board. Then you also look at the Darius Slayton drop. That takes another touchdown off the board. And then you look at Dexter Lawrence going offside. That would have won us the game. But when you look at it, mistakes, and the Giants shooting themselves in the foot. This doesn't fall on the offense. This does not fall on Daniel Jones. I don't want to hear any Daniel Jones slander. But this defense is not playing how they should be. We came in with expectations that this defense would be a lot better. And it didn't. This soft shell zone, it's not working. It's not working, and something has to change, man. I mean, I'm just so mad right now. I'm proud of Daniel Jones. He proved tonight, which we all knew this, but when he has an offensive line, he is lethal, man. That RPO, we need to establish that more. Saquon Barkley. He looked fairly solid tonight. I understand they're trying to ease him in, but man, I got no words, man. Giants Nation, I don't want to hear nothing about Daniel Jones. Y'all leave Daniel Jones alone. This is not on Daniel Jones. Leave Daniel Jones alone. He had a great game today. This defense needs to step up, and we on to Atlanta. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. His squad out.